Hello, this is Sarah at Awaken Acres. It's September 3rd in southeast Michigan, and this is our permaculture paradise. Today I'm going to talk about a little bit about climate change and why permaculture is so important in dealing with it. Specifically, I'm going to talk about not having monocultures. And a monoculture is just planting all of one thing, like you'll see cornfield that goes for miles and miles. Nothing but corn. That's a monoculture. And the reason that's bad is because there's no diversity. No creatures can live in that, and it's sprayed with pesticides and herbicides to kill basically everything but the corn. And the ground is plowed up once or even twice a year, which destroys soil life. And it's important to have soil life because that's part of our planet. When we plow the ground, it releases carbon dioxide into the air. And so it's important to not do that, or at least minimize it. Sometimes you have to if you want to plant something. There's no other way to do it but to plow the ground. But for hazelnuts and other perennial beings, you just plant them once and then no more plowing. So it's important to have diverse things planted to not only avoid diseases that might affect all one crop. If you have different crops, if one thing doesn't do well in a year, then you'll have other crops to fall back on. And the same for wildlife. If you have a lot of different things growing, you're supporting different types of wildlife. So today I'm just going to talk a little bit about our hazelnuts. And speaking of diversity, we don't just have one type of hazelnut. We have American hazelnut, and I have just one here that's producing, and I have a hybrid hazelnut, and both of these are from Arbor Day. I've also purchased more hazelnuts from Forest Ag Enterprises from Wisconsin, and those are hybrid hazelnuts. And I also purchased some European hazelnuts and some more American hazelnuts from Burnt Ridge Nursery, which I believe is based on the West Coast. So I have many different things ready to be planted or planted already. So I'll have 3 different types of hazelnuts growing. So if one doesn't do well, hopefully the others will. So I have, right now, the only ones producing are, I have one American hazelnut bush and one hybrid hazelnut bush. And these are the hazelnuts I've been picking from them. The hybrid is a bit bigger than the American hazelnut, which is what we're looking for. However, the bush is not as productive. It doesn't produce as many nuts. This is just one hybrid bush, so they will vary in production. What we're aiming for is high production and large size, and disease resistant. I have noticed the hybrid seems to have a little bit of white powdery stuff. I don't know if that's natural bloom or if it's mold or mildew, but it definitely has this, where the American hazelnut is just dark and shiny. So I don't know if that's a disease or if it's just part of its natural bloom. It's something to look out for and observe. But this is what we have so far. Pretty good harvest this year. I have many more than this. So the American hazelnut likes to hang on to their nuts. And when they're brown like this, you take them off and take them out, and they should come out pretty easily if they're fully ripe. The hybrid, some hybrids may be more like American hazelnuts. There's Star. She's our beautiful white cat. I just love her so much. She's exploring. This is the hybrid hazelnut, and I've found that this one starts, the nuts actually fall to the ground, some of them. So those are clearly ripe, but that's one thing that's different than the American hazelnut. And you may or may not like that. If you have a flat ground, it may be easier to pick them up from the ground, but it also makes it more available to pests, like chipmunks and squirrels will see those nuts right away and go after them if they're on the ground. So, but some of them hang on and can be picked off, and just like the American hazelnuts, when they're brown, I think I've already picked off all of them from here, but when they're brown, they can be picked. And part of the reason this may not have been productive is I think a deer has been nibbling the outer branches every year. So this year I protected it more, and so we actually had some nuts, and the rabbits have been chewing the bottom. And I don't know if this, I think it does not shoot out as many suckers as the American hazelnut, so that leaves it more vulnerable to rabbits damaging the lower part, and it takes longer for new ones to grow up. Or the American hazelnuts, hi kitty, oh you're just sweet, oh you love that. She's enjoying the sunshine. So that's just a comparison. And the European hazelnuts I haven't even planted in the ground yet, but I'm happy to experiment with them and see how their disease resistance is and their nut production and how much larger the nuts are. I have a good feeling the American hazelnuts will win in the end because they're just natural to this area and they have more cold resistance and disease resistance. But I'm trying all three kinds because I would like big nuts, and I'm just seeing which ones are more productive and more valuable. Okay, and there's many other things we have growing here, but I just wanted to talk about hazelnuts today. So I think that will end our video for now, and I hope whatever you do, have a nice day, and thanks for watching.